The world used to be so big. My whole life was a sun-drenched patch on the living room floor. The familiar scent of my human and the rhythm of a heartbeat I knew better than my own. I remember the squeak of his old leather chair, the low hum of his voice when he'd talk to me late at night. He'd scratch that spot right behind my ears and tell me I was the best boy in the whole world. I believed him. How could I not? Then one day, the world changed. The car ride was different. It wasn't the happy kind, the one that ended at the park with the wind in my fur. This was a silent ride. The air was thick with something I couldn't name, a sadness that clung to the seats. We drove for what felt like forever, down roads I didn't recognize, until the city lights faded into a dark, endless stretch of trees. He stopped the car on the side of a lonely road. He opened my door. "Go on, boy. Go play." His voice cracked. I jumped out, my tail wagging, ready for an adventure. I turned back, expecting him to follow, but the door slammed shut. The engine roared, and the red taillights bled into the darkness, leaving me alone with the chilling whisper of the wind. I didn't understand. I waited for days. I thought it was a game, a new kind of hide and seek. I barked at every car that passed, my heart leaping with hope, only to have it sink again and again. The sun beat down, the rain soaked my fur, and the hunger gnawed at my belly like a living thing. The world I knew, the one filled with warmth and love, had vanished. This new world was cold, sharp, and terrifying. Every rustle in the bushes was a threat, every shadow a monster. I learned the taste of fear, the constant ache of loneliness. My happy barks turned into whimpers in the night, a desperate plea to a silent, starry sky. I was no longer the best boy in the world. I was just a ghost, haunting the edge of a forgotten road. I started to wander, driven by a primal need to survive. I was skeletal, my coat a matted mess of burrs and dirt. People saw me and looked away. Doors slammed shut. I was invisible, a problem nobody wanted. The trust I once had in humans began to curdle into fear. A hand raised in greeting looked like a hand raised to strike. A kind voice sounded like a trap. My spirit, once so bright, was dimming. I was starting to give up. I found a small alcove under an abandoned bridge, a place to hide from the rain and the cruelty of the world. It became my miserable little kingdom of dirt and despair. I think a part of me went there to die. One evening, as the sky turned a bruised purple, a different kind of car pulled over. It wasn't loud or fast. A woman got out, moving slowly, cautiously. She didn't call out or try to get close. She just sat on the ground, a good distance away, and waited. I watched her from the shadows, my heart pounding a rhythm of pure terror. She came back the next day. And the next. She'd leave a small bowl of food and some water, then retreat to her car to watch. She never pushed. She never forced. She just offered. For weeks, this silent dance continued. I was starving, but my fear was stronger. Finally, one day, the hunger won. I crept out, snatched a piece of food, and darted back into my hole. I could feel her watching, not with pity, but with a quiet, patient understanding. Slowly, ever so slowly, the space between us began to shrink. She started talking to me, her voice a soft melody that cut through the noise of my fear. She told me about her day, about the birds she saw, about her own old dog who had crossed the rainbow bridge. She wasn't just feeding my body, she was feeding my starved soul. The day I finally let her touch me, it was like a dam breaking inside me. Her hand was so gentle. It didn't hurt. It wasn't a threat. As she stroked my matted fur, years of fear, loneliness, and betrayal washed away in a flood of tears I couldn't shed. I leaned into her touch, a broken, trembling thing, and for the first time in an eternity, I felt a flicker of hope. I felt safe. Getting me into her car was another challenge, but with patience and soft words, she did it. The ride was quiet, but this time, it was a comfortable silence. Her house smelled of clean laundry and cinnamon. It was warm. There was a soft bed waiting for me, a full bowl of food that I didn't have to fight for. It was overwhelming. I spent the first few days just sleeping, my body finally releasing the tension of constant survival. Every time I woke up, I'd panic for a second, thinking it was a dream. But she was always there, her presence a steady anchor in my new reality. The recovery was long. There were vet visits, baths that washed away the grime of the streets, and medicines for the sickness that had taken root in my weak body. But the deepest wounds weren't the ones you could see. They were the scars on my heart. Loud noises made me jump. Sudden movements made me cower, but she never gave up on me. She taught me that hands could be kind, that voices could be gentle, and that a home wasn't just a place, but a feeling. She taught me how to be a dog again. Slowly, the tail that had been tucked between my legs for so long started to twitch. A soft wag, then a full, happy swish. The first time I barked, a real playful bark, she cried. We both knew what it meant. The ghost of the roadside was gone. I was home. My world is big again, but not in a scary way. It's filled with morning cuddles, walks in the park where the wind in my fur is a joyous thing, and the rhythm of a new heartbeat, one that beats in time with my own. I have a name again. She calls me Phoenix. She says it's because I rose from the ashes, a symbol of hope and rebirth. Sometimes, when I'm curled up at her feet, I think about that lonely road. I don't feel anger or sadness anymore. I feel a strange sense of gratitude. That road, that darkness, it led me here. It led me to her. It led me from being abandoned to being cherished. And I'll spend the rest of my days making sure she knows she's the best human in the whole world, because she is. And this time, I know what love is. It's not just a word. It's a warm hand, a patient heart, and a second chance. It's everything. Thank you for listening to my story. Never lose hope, and please consider giving a rescue animal a chance. You might just save each other.